today. 1-800-919-3776. Yankees win last night. They've won 4 in a row. They have the best record in baseball. The Mets made a comeback that fell short, but it was certainly thrilling. Pete Alonso struck out against Iglesias on a pretty good changeup with Lindor as the tying run on base. Don, they were down 6-0. By the way, we're right now in the middle of the Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. They're down 6-0, and they made a spirited try. So they're showing some fight against the Braves, and the Braves might be ripe for the picking. I don't know if that will impact the Mets. Maybe it impacts the Phillies. If they lose Spencer Strider, who's supposed to start today, and he can't, and he might have to undergo Tommy John surgery, that is a gigantic loss for Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm not impressed by them that much at all. Again, it's very early in the season. But what you're seeing with the Mets here early on, Michael, is that they're starting to get better offensively. They don't have the pitching. They just don't. And Senga
goes on the 68-day IL today.
Yeah, so that means he's pretty much done through May. I guess he's eligible May 27th, and then, how long it'll take for him to get back into the rotation.
It doesn't sound good, Don.
No, it doesn't. But they're starting to hit a little bit. Nimmo with another hit. Alonso was able to get the rally going with the 3-run home run, another hit for Beatty. So I think they'll be okay offensively. They're not going to be a juggernaut, but they're going to be carried by their offense. But they just don't. Hauser's a nice pitcher. Michael gives you 5 innings, but gives up 5 runs. They just don't have the starting pitching. They're not going to give you a lot of innings, which means they're really going to have to rely on this bullpen, which outside of Diaz isn't really overly special. So for everything to kind of come together, they're going to have to outslug their opponents. And you're going to get nights like you did last night. So it's funny. The first 2 games are kind of the same, where they were able to complete the comeback the first night, but this time they weren't able to complete the comeback because you keep spotting teams' early leads. You can't rely on coming back like that all the time. You're just not built like that. So I'll take the split if they can get it. But, right now, Michael, the starting pitching is it's going to be a roller coaster ride every night, whether they're going to be able to hold on.
And then, yesterday we find out that J.D. Martinez has to get an injection in his back. Mm-hmm. And listen, I didn't want to be right on this, but I knew I was going to be. Guys could work out all they want on their own. All they want on their own. It's not the same as organized spring training. So J.D. Martinez, I don't know what he was doing. And even Carlos Mendoza said yesterday, nobody's worked harder to come back. He's taken 80 swings. This is from probably sitting on his couch to take 80 swings. Now, he had a back issue last year, ended up having a good season. Right. But you're paying this guy for the full 6 months. He will not play in April.
Nope.
And you hope that he's going to be okay in May. Why do people there has to be a cutoff point where we go, I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved. Look how Snell pitched in his first game. A 3-inning pitcher. Even at his best, he's a 5-inning pitcher.
And Michael, he's hurting himself because it's a 1-year contract.
Yep.
So what is he going to get if he ends up having half a season? Now, he did get a shot when he was with the Dodgers last year.
And had a good year.
But that was before the season. So. Right. So they've, like you said, they've lost April. Maybe the shot works. He ends up having a monster, May through, and we'll see if that can happen. But right now, you're a non-entity, So Stewart, plays, but clearly they'd be better with Martinez in there. And when are you going to get him? You're already under 500. You're 4-7, and it doesn't look like you're going to have him anytime soon. What they say, the 3 to 5 days. So and then the shot, you're probably looking at May 1st. And where are you going to be come May 1st?
And that's best case scenario.
Yeah.
And now with the Senga news, that's awful. They're pitcher short anyway.
Yeah.
And he's their Garrett Cole. Now he's not on that level, but he's their ace. He was going to start opening day. You've lost your ace. Who are your big time pitchers on the Mets?
Well, Quintana still, I think, could be a good pitcher. He was signed to be a good pitcher on a team that thought it can contend. So you've got Quintana tonight, Severino to finish out the series tomorrow afternoon. So that's the top of your rotation. So hopefully they can at least earn a split. Then you got Kansas City, and you try to see if you keep your head above water. But that's going to be the problem. We knew it going in. Until Senga came back, did they have enough starting pitching? And and they've already lost games because the bullpen is just too light when starting pitchers don't give you enough. And you got nothing back on Monday, and your bullpen was spent from the weekend. It's going to be tough. You can't have pitchers go 5 innings every single night, Michael, and expect your bullpen to hold up.
And if you think of the way their bullpen is built, okay, they don't have a big starting staff, so you're not going to get length out of them. So you need a good bullpen. Ottavino, I don't know what Adam has left. And then you've got the closer, who's great, but he can't pitch every day. So when Clay Holmes can't pitch, like if he's pitched 2 or 3 days in a row, you can go to Ian Hamilton. You can go to Nick Birdie. There's people that you could turn to that are viable alternatives. The Mets can't go to that guy. There is not that guy.
But
You're going to have Adam Ottavino close the game?
But even the Yankees, Michael, if every single night you were getting 4 or 5 innings from your starting pitchers, it would come to roost at some point.
But you know what? They were doing that for the first 8 games, and the bottom line is they have a deep bullpen. The Mets have a very shallow bullpen and bad starters.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Tehran couldn't give him much. Was it 2 2/3?
Yep.
You know,
and they stretched Hauser yesterday. You know, they raved about the fact that he won 5 innings. Well, he took one for the team. He gave up 6 runs.
Yeah, it took one for the team, and still you had to go out there and get 12 outs.
Right. Strange. Also, big move in baseball. The number 1 prospect in the entire sport, Jackson Holliday, called up by the Orioles. Maybe the Orioles see the Yankees off to a great start. They said, let's get this kid up here. And he is a special, special player. Looks like he's going to play second base for the Orioles. He's a shortstop, but they already have a shortstop in Gunnar Henderson. They're so loaded. The Orioles are really the team that you have to worry about in the American League East. And his career is going to start tonight. That's the Diamond Notes.